Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. Happy last day of January 2024. Because it is the last day of the month, that means it is time to continue the empties discussion that we started yesterday with my beauty empties. But today we are going to tackle my home fragrance trash. And much like my beauty trash, I also save my candle and wax melt garbage to be able to share some final thoughts with you guys at the end of each month. I really don't think that there is a better review of a product than a finished review of a product. So these empties videos serve as an opportunity for me to update on candles that I may have reviewed over the course of the month, give you guys some final thoughts. Yeah, and just kind of, it's just a little candle discussion time. So as always, I will go ahead and list and link everything that is currently still available in the description box down below. There may be some fragrances in here that are quite old. I have started in the last couple of years going through and burning a lot of candles in my collection that I used to just hold on to because, you know, I was afraid that I would finish them and I could never get my hands on them again. I'm finally kind of past that stage of collecting candles, and I'm trying to get to a more reasonable collection overall. So I'm working very diligently on that, and that means that you're going to see some empties in here from probably a while ago or some fragrances, I should say, that came out quite some time ago and may not currently be available. So also in the description box down below, if you are new here, I will be referencing lamping and crocking my candles. I do that with candles that either don't behave, or if I'm just trying to get through things a little bit faster. I will sometimes just put a brand new candle into a crock or underneath a lamp and just melt it exclusively. If you're someone who doesn't really want to mess with like an open flame because it's a safety concern for you, or maybe you live in an apartment and you are not allowed to have an open flame, but maybe you still have a candle collection, crocks or lamps would be a great way to still get some life out of your home fragrance. Just by melting it versus burning it. The thing that you want to know about both lamps and crocks is that the wax will not dissipate. With a candle lamp, you're melting layer by layer. With a crock, you're melting everything at once. But in the description box down below, there is a candle crock and candle lamp 101 video that I put together that explains both of those accessories in detail, how to use them. I also put links down there for crocks and lamps that are really great quality and a decent price point that work incredibly well. So if you are new to the world of lamping or crocking, you might want to check those videos out, because that might really help you figure out if this is something that you need or even want in terms of candle accessories. I know there's a lot of newer people to the whole home fragrance world. It has recently, in I would say like the last 5 years, really took off. And it's wonderful to have so many people that are now like interested in the home fragrance hobby as well. But yeah, there's a lot of fun things and a lot of accessories that maybe you're not familiar with quite yet. So anyway, for me, crocks and lamps are a huge like must-have. They're my two, I would say, most must-have like candle and wax melt accessory items, outside of just like my regular, you know, warmers and lighters and all of that stuff. So anyway, without further ado, yeah, check that description box if you have any questions. There's also discount codes down there for both Kringle and for HomeWorx. If you want to save 15% off your order, I have a discount with both of those companies. So feel free to reference that if you're interested in purchasing from either one and saving a little bit of extra money. All right, we're gonna get into it. I do like to save the wax melts for last. So yeah, we're gonna save the wax melts for last, and we're gonna start with all of the candles. First one we have here is an empty from HomeWorx. This is Hot Cider Donut. This is one of my older Hot Cider Donuts. This one was from 2019. And this is one of those HomeWorx empties where literally almost every drop of wax dissipated from the jar. The wick clips worked. I mean, this candle extinguished itself, but somehow all of the wax just evaporated. I will say these wick clips look a little rusty. I'm not sure why that would be. It certainly didn't affect the fragrance at all. But again, this was a candle that was sitting in one of my closets for many moons before I got around to burning it. Hot Cider Donut is a longtime favorite of mine from HomeWorx. I discovered it when HomeWorx first launched over at QVC in 2017, I believe it was. And it has been a favorite ever since. It is currently available, I believe, on homeworx.shop. I don't know if it's available anywhere else, but I would highly, highly recommend it. It is so good. All right, here we have a candle that I burned a few times to be able to review. And then I decided to put it into a candle crock. This is Bath & Body Works Ebony Sands. This was, I don't remember when I bought this. I think I may have bought this last summer. Does that sound right? I think it's 2023. My label is a little messed up on the bottom, so I can't really read like the first number of the date. I think that looks like a 3. But anyway, I have been melting this actually in this back bedroom here in my candle crock that's across the way from me here. I melted this for 2 solid weeks and it smelled so good in here, you guys. This is quite a perfumey scent. The notes here are ebony wood, tobacco petals, and warm tonka. Well, I don't know why I'm smelling it. There's no fragrance oils left in here. It just smells like a hunk of wax, essentially. But I really like this scent a lot. I've been liking a lot more of these more masculine and perfumey type scents in, I would say, within the last year. That one was really quite nice. If that came back this summer, because I do think that I purchased it last summer, I would actually consider like getting another one of those, but I would actually probably save it for the month of January just because that's when I've really enjoyed those types of scents. I've been burning my Bath & Body Works Crimson Velvet, my Vanilla Cedarwood, my Peppered Plum, and those scents are somewhat similar to that in that they're a little bit more masculine, a little bit more perfumey or cologne-y in their presentation. And I really like that. I like that vibe. And yes, the dog is in my lap. Can you see him? Not quite. Here he is. So here's Alf. That's the snoring that you're hearing. He is, of course, assisting me in today's video as he always does. So yeah, let's keep going. Okay, here we have a candle that was underneath my candle lamp. Now this last layer of wax here, this one was just really quite light, I will say. There's another one that I went through 2 of these. So this one here, the last layer of wax is much lower. For some reason, this one I was a little bit more mindful about pushing the wax on the sides down underneath the lamp. This one, I guess I didn't care. I just turned the lamp on and off. Mine have timers for either 2, 4, or 8 hours. I will typically turn on my timers for 8 hours a day on my candle lamps. Wow, sir, you are just snoring up a storm here. Anyway, this one here, this particular scent from HomeWorx, which was the glazed blueberry donut, glazed blueberry muffin, was a little bit of a dud. I don't think anyone really had luck with this one in terms of burning it and getting much out of it in terms of strength and throw. Usually I don't have a massive issue with like getting no strength and throw out of HomeWorx candles. Are they lower than what they used to be? Yeah, for sure. But this one was much lighter. I will say, keeping it in one of my candle closets until, you know, just this past month, and then deciding, I think I'm just gonna pop it underneath my lamps. I think it actually performed better under the lamps than it would have even burning. But that being said, this one here was much lighter anyway, so I didn't even bother to pour off this last layer of wax to get at the one underneath. I'm just gonna toss this one, but this one here went obviously all the way down to the bottom. So with a lamp, because you're warming from the top down, you do only burn like a layer of wax at a time, like the top layer essentially liquefies. You wait for all the fragrance oils to dissipate, then you pour that wax off. And then there's also a video that I have down below that shows you what I do with my leftover wax. So if you're interested in that, check that out. But yeah, that's how a lamp works, is you have to pour the wax off. Whereas with a crock, it just sits in there and the whole thing melts. And you'll see here, the wick clips, obviously, there's the wicks on the outside of the jar. the wick clips got totally dislodged and pushed to the outside of the jar. You can see wick clip here, you can see wick clip here. And yeah, so people always ask me like, which one should I get, a lamp or a crock? And that you're gonna have to decide that based on what you're willing to do, whether you want to pour off layers of wax or whether you just want to put a candle in and forget it. I will say the candle crocks are not big enough for HomeWorx candles. If I had the money or like an investor, I would totally develop a candle crock for larger candles as well, because I think a lot more people are interested in melting more of their collection than they are in burning it, especially since most of us have like larger stashes of candles. And it is a faster way to get through your candles if you're burning some and then also melting some at the same time. And that's kind of the boat that I'm in right now, is where I'm trying to get through a lot of this stuff. Not because I don't enjoy it, that's not why. I just need a more reasonable, I guess more appropriate candle collection for this point in my life, which doesn't necessarily include having 300 candles in my house at any given time. It's just a lot. It's a lot. All right, so this one here, cozy and warm, you guys. Listen, this is one of the most delicious coffee scents that I think I've ever smelled, from Kringle for sure, but just I think in terms of coffee scents in general. It's really lovely, really creamy, really authentic. It's not overly sweet, but it has a gorgeous like vanilla, almost like vanilla cream undernote. It's so good. Anyway, if you are looking for a coffee scent with a really great performance, warm and cozy from Kringle from their winter collection, highly recommend. All right, here we have a marshmallow fireside that one, it got puny wick syndrome, and then two, the wax got really messy, as you can see. So the last, I would say, what is this, last maybe like third here, I ended up warming in one of my candle crocks. So no more fragrance left in that. And I didn't have to deal with the soot. Here we have, oh, here's the lid. Snow Angels from HomeWorx Candles. This is actually quite a fruity scent. This one was a leftover from 2020, candied cranberry, raspberry cream, crystallized vanilla sandalwood. Really fruity, very sweet. In my eyes, this is not really like a wintertime scent per se. And I burned this one quite a bit when we had our snowstorm slash power outage slash ice storm here in Oregon during the month of January. And it kind of was a little strange. I figured, you know, since it said Snow Angels, like it's totally, you know, appropriate for like the month of January when it snows in Portland occasionally. But just smelling it, I was like, it just smells so fruity. I don't know, it's just not a wintertime scent for me in my eyes. But if you find this anywhere and you like fruity wintertime scents, this is stuff, it's fruity. It is quite fruity, that's for sure. Here we have a coconut shortbread. I love coconut shortbread. This one burned, the last burn was a little funky, but that's fine. I mean, I'm not sad about it. The rest of it burned fine. Coconut shortbread is a really beautiful gourmand, but I think the name is a little bit misleading. There's definitely like a toasted coconut type note to this one, but it smells very much like a fall cookie type candle to me. There's quite a bit of like spice in here. There's no spice listed at all, but it smells quite spicy to me for some reason. I don't know, this one has also been sitting for a really long time. This is a leftover from 2021 that I think I still have 2 backups of that. I did upload my HomeWorx current collection. That would have been a couple weeks ago now. So if you're interested in that, it is live on my channel. The other collection videos are coming. Oh yeah. All right. So there were a number of people who commented on my Nest video, agreeing with me about how the 3 wicks and up just get really dirty on them too. As you can see, this is filthy, right? And then there were a few people who, I don't know if they thought I was maybe new to candle burning or something, but They tried to make suggestions, like, you know, obvious things that like we all know how to do to keep a candle from doing this. And I did all those things. Like, I always trim my wicks. I always make sure actually that I wipe the wicks with a paper towel just to get that extra carbon residue off. And no matter what I do, my Nest candles in the 3-wick and larger format just get this messy for me every single time. Like, this is nothing but soot in here. And you can even see the discoloration in the wax there. Here's the thing, the Nest 1-wick candles do not do that to me. It's wild. I mean, occasionally there's one that gets a little messy, but not like that. So for me, I'm not buying the larger Nest candles anymore. I'm gonna stick with the 1-wick. I love the fragrances, and the 1-wicks perform super well in terms of strength and throw, so I might as well just stick with what I know works from the brand. But I do wish that they would improve the formulation of the wax so that it just burned better during the latter part of these, you know, larger multi-wick candles, because usually after, I would say, just about the halfway point is when this starts happening. Like, they're fine for the first little bit, and then it just turns into a mess, just a mess, which I hate because I love these candles. I love the fragrances. Holiday, Birchwood Pine, Sicilian Tangerine, like there's just so many. The Madagascar Vanilla, they're all great scents, and I would love them in a larger format. I would love the increased strength and throw, obviously, but I'm not willing to pay that much for a luxury candle that looks like that after a few burns. Like, that makes me feel like I'm throwing my money away, and I don't want to do that. I mean, you could say I'm throwing my money away anyway, because every time that I light one of these candles, it's just like money, I'm just lighting money on fire. And if we really think about like our hobby that way, that's what we're doing. We're just lighting money on fire. But it's fun though, right? Like, I mean, everybody has a hobby, right? Like, some people collect purses, some people collect fancy stamps or cars. I don't know. Everybody has a hobby of some kind that probably, if you really break it down, doesn't make a whole lot of financial sense, but I don't know, it's fun, right? You have to have some fun in life. This is my fun. This is my fun. That's how I justify it. All right, Vanilla Balsam. This one obviously went into the crock. There's no scent left in this. I love this. This is great for the holidays. Delightful. Here we have Vintage Pomander. This was my Kringle Candle collab. It will be back this next holiday season, so if you are interested, that is when you can get your hands on Vintage Pomander again. Obviously, I love it. It is very orange forward. There is definitely clove in the formulation, but I wanted more of the emphasis on the orange, and it turned out absolutely beautiful. So I'm hoping that maybe we can get that put into the new 4-wick format. I think that would be amazing. I would vote for that. All right, here we have what's this one? Gilded Garland from HomeWorx. This was from this like Baubles collection. The last burn on this was quite rough, as you can see. I actually like this scent. It's a little bit fresher than what I'm used to. This has juniper as well as fir garland, sandalwood, and cinnamon. It's kind of an interesting scent for around the holidays. The juniper definitely brings it back into like holiday vibe mode, but some of these other notes here, like I feel like the sandalwood definitely makes it smell like it could also be maybe like a good January type scent. I don't know. Sorry, I had to readjust. My foot's falling asleep. He had to do his little dance here to settle back down. There's a lot of HomeWorx in here. I was really working hard on these HomeWorx candles, you guys. All right, here we have the most wonderful time of the year. This was a Christmas in July special this past year. I actually really like this one. I feel like the last burn got a tiny bit messy, but I didn't notice a lot of discoloration elsewhere. The wax just got messy during the last burn for some reason, and there's a little scorch mark over here. But I also think this was during like the last burn where I just let it go for probably like 5 or 6 hours because I knew it was gonna be done soon, and so I just let it go. I typically don't burn any of my candles with the exception of Kringle because I know they're fine, the Kringle soy formulation specifically. But I typically don't burn any candle from any company more than like 3.5 hours at a time, just to avoid any issues with, you know, whatever happens with naughty candles, which is a lot. So Merry Marshmallow. This one was so good, you guys. I really liked Merry Marshmallow. This was a sweeter scent. This smelled similar to, what did I compare this to? I think it was Vanilla Bean Macaron, maybe. Yeah, I think it was Vanilla Bean Macaron. Anyway, it was delicious. I loved it. I have Vanilla Bean Macaron going downstairs right now, actually. What was this? Oh, you guys, it was my OG Harvest Leaves that I finished. It was from 2017. That's how old. This one, can you guys see that there? Hopefully it's focusing. This was one of my OG 3 wicks from HomeWorx. So no, a wick didn't go missing. When HomeWorx first started over on QVC, they were 3 wicks to begin with, and then they transitioned to 4 wicks. I think it was like 2018, 2019, I can't remember, but at any rate, I held on to this candle for a very long time because once again, it was special because it was old. It was like one of my first HomeWorx purchases, and I just loved it. And I was really glad to have finally decided to burn it. It doesn't have the label because I also like Harvest Leaves during the holidays, but it has a very fall-like label with leaves on it. The wax is a perfect color for Christmas because it's, you know, kind of like a burgundy red. But I just cut that label off because these are just shrink wrapped on, so it's very easy to do that. I just cut that label off, and then yeah, I just enjoyed the red wax as it was melting down. Love that scent. It's one of my holy grails. It's in my top 5 from HomeWorx for sure. All right, here we have, oh, Spice Orange and Clove. This was Nest's Orange Pomander scent before they discontinued it, which is too bad, but you can see the difference in the burn quality here with this 1 wick. Look at that, nice and clean. Check out this 3 wick. Whoa, what a difference, right? Yeah, this should have burned just as cleanly as this because they were treated the exact same way. Burned the same number of hours, wicks always trimmed, wicks always wiped. Yeah, there's no reason for this. But I do love these jars. I always keep these. You can use those as like to hold your makeup brushes, to hold pencils. You can use it as little votive holders. They're really cute. They wash up well. So anyway, love those. Okay, here we have Christmas Confetti. Christmas Confetti was holly berries, white birch, orange peel, and crystallized sugar. I didn't love this one. I thought it was okay, but this is not a scent that I would personally repurchase. This whole collection did okay for me in terms of strength and throw. I mean, they were solid medium performers, but I don't think that any of these in this collection would have been strong enough for those of you that like really overpowering fragrances. So if you see these on clearance somewhere, maybe at like Marshall's, Home Goods, TJ Maxx, I think if you get them for the price point, like the clearance price point of like $10 and under, I think they're worth picking up for that. But I wouldn't go out of my way to like seek this one out. So, but also it's not the type of scent that I really love. Did I read you guys the fragrance notes? Holly berries, white birch, orange peel, crystallized sugar. Yeah, it's just kind of an odd scent for the holidays in my eyes. I don't know, wasn't my thing. But here we have Father Christmas. You guys, this candle was such a surprise for me. This has a leather note, very, very masculine. This also, to my nose, has a bit of a hearth type vibe to it. I fell in love with it though. This is not my type of go-to scent at all. I don't know if it was like the label that had something to do with it, because I think this is definitely also one of my favorite like Santa labels that I've ever seen from Kringle. But I do think just the fragrance itself and me and my personal preferences kind of changing a little bit in terms of fragrance notes that I'm enjoying in the latter part of my life. I used to exclusively only do gourmand and fruity scents, you guys, but I feel like the older I've gotten, my nose has changed a little bit. I think it has to do with hormones and just getting older. And I'm learning to embrace a lot more these days in terms of different types of fragrances. And for whatever reason, this Father Christmas with that leather note just spoke to me. I love it. I would totally repurchase that next holiday season. That was delightful. And this is just, I don't know where this came from, but I obviously cleaned this out a long time ago. You can reuse these containers. Keep the lids, and again, like reuse these to store little doodads in. When my kid was really little, I would clean these out and she would store her LPS in here. She's no longer playing with LPS because she's almost 12, but she was obsessed with those for quite some time. All right, you guys, we have a number of wax melts in here. These are all Scentsy. I'm just going to tell you whether I like the scent or not and if the performance was good. I'm not going to go through all of the fragrance notes necessarily. Some of these may have been Bring Back My Bars from like a long time ago. So this is just a real hodgepodge here. All right. Sanderson Sisters, Perfectly Wicked. So good. Smells like a dupe of Lost Cherry by Tom Ford, if you're into that. Great performance. Really, really strong strength and throw out of this one. Also lasts a number of days. That's a good one if you can ever get your hands on it. She's not currently available. Positively Pink. This was from the Breast Cancer Awareness Collection that came out in October. This is actually somewhat similar to Sanderson Sisters in that they're both kind of perfumey scents, but great strength and throw out of this one. Wonderful, lovely, slightly more masculine scent. Did enjoy. Caramel Praline Cake. So good. I really enjoyed this one. This one actually was probably a little bit closer to Almond Croissant than some of the other dupes that people have suggested for me in the last like month or so. I really like this one, this Caramel Praline Cake. The caramel almost comes across as like that almond paste note that you get in Almond Croissant. But I think that just the overall like gourmand undertone is very similar to Almond Croissant. This one's really great. This needs to come back when it does. Midnight Mahogany. Okay, this one I liked on Cold Sniff, and when I put it in my warmers, mostly in like the dining room and like the back part of the house. You guys, I had to shut them off. This grossed me out so much when it was warm. It completely changed into this weird powdery scent that made me want to hork. Absolutely not. I think this foul. Would never purchase again. But on Cold Sniff, I was like, oh, I kind of like this. No. And had great strength and throw. So if you are looking for a powdery mess, may I suggest, if you see that on clearance somewhere, feel free to pick it up. But absolutely, I will never buy that again. Pink Leather, great performance in terms of strength and throw. Again, a slightly more masculine scent, a little bit more perfumey. Bring Back My Bar Vanilla Oud from like way back in the day. This one performed really well. This is the only bar that I've had in quite some time that has gotten a little bit juicy at the bottom. All my other bars are not doing that at all. So certain bars just have a tendency to do that. All right, here's another Positively Pink. All right, Vanilla Walnut. This is part of the current Bring Back My Bar. I really like Vanilla Walnut, but what I will say is that I don't think it lasted more than a day before it almost completely petered out. So that's a bummer, but I really do like the scent. So I might still make myself a little 6-pack with just the Vanilla Walnut, and I'll just have to know that it lasts a day. During that one-day performance, it's great, but the next day when I turn my warmers on, like I just don't really get anything. So, and typically most of my bars, I can get 2 or 3 days out of them, but not that one. Quiver, this was another Bring Back My Bar, great performance, not really worth mentioning right now. Vanilla Barnwood, man, there's a few Vanilla Barnwoods in here. I really fell in love with this one. I think there might actually be 3. Yep, here's another Vanilla Barnwood. Love this one for January. I will say it's a little bit lighter. I would put it in the medium, light medium end of the performance spectrum. So better for like smaller rooms, but really lovely. It's like a vanilla and like almost like a driftwood. It's really lovely. I like this one. You having a nice nap there, buddy? Here we have Fall into Love. This one is really nice. It's a holiday tree scent, but again, has a little bit more of a perfume vibe to it. This was great in terms of performance. Lasted several days, good strength and throw. Enjoyed another caramel praline cake. Happy birthday. It's in my club. I have either 7 or 8 bars of Happy Birthday in my club. This is one of my all-time favorite Scentsy fragrances. It has been for years, and I don't ever want to be without it, which is why it's in my club. And that's why I have that many in my club. If I could get my almond croissant count up to like 7 or 8 bars, I would be so happy, but I can't do that, which is too bad. Rum Pum Plum. I put it in my club. I fell in love with this during the holidays. This is so nice, you guys. Great strength, great throw. Just a lovely, like, plummy holiday scent. So good. Love it. Can't wait to bust more of that. Another caramel praline cake. Clearly, I loved her. Frosted White Pine. This came in this, you know, collection with, it's like the holiday collection. Or I don't remember the names of these collections. I don't sell Scentsy, so, you know, I just watch my bestie Lisa's videos. She makes everything sound so good, and then I just place orders based off of what she likes, because we both like the same things. But this one here, the Frosted White Pine, I really enjoyed this as well. Not as much as Very Snowy Spruce. That's my favorite tree scent, but this is quite nice. It's definitely a pine. Very, very distinct pine. Good performance. Sandalwood Tangerine used to be in my club, but I took it out. I still have several of these left. Masculine, perfumey scent. Really nice sandalwood note here. And the tangerine is interesting because it's a very masculine tangerine scent. It's so funny. Like, I have a lot of these like more perfumey scents in here this month, and normally this is all just gourmand or fruity scents. So it's so interesting to see such a, like, there's just so much going on in this pile, and fragrance wise, it's like a little bit, a hodgepodge of everything, really. We're almost done, I promise. Here's a White Amber and Silk. I don't remember when this is from. I like this. Definitely more of a bedroom or bathroom type scent for me. Decent performance overall, a little lighter. Vanilla Suede. Oh, gosh, when did this come out? I feel like I had Vanilla Suede in my club. Does that sound familiar? It's not in there anymore, so I took it out, but I think I put Vanilla Suede in for a hot minute because I think this came out in the Bring Back My Bar last year at some point. Either in January or maybe in the summer Bring Back My Bar. I do not recall. Here we have Amaretto. This is part of the current Bring Back My Bar, and then we also have King Cake, which is part of the current Mardi Gras collection. Amaretto is delicious. I loved it, but it's another one where it lasted like a day, and then like really nice, strong, medium performance in terms of strength and throw, but then the next day, like nothing, which really surprises me. I like this Amaretto note. It kind of reminds me of the almond cream scent from Garden Botanica from back in the day. Who remembers Garden Botanica? Fun fact, that was, I worked there. Like after I graduated from high school, I took a year off and I worked at Garden Botanica and I worked at the Bon Marché. I sold body care products part of the day and makeup the other half of the day, and that was all I did for like a year, you guys. I just worked at the mall. It was a great motivator for me to not do that for the rest of my life. It was awful. People are terrible. I don't know if you know that, but people can be terrible. Just work at the mall. You'll meet a lot of people. All right, and King Cake. Love King Cake. This is delicious. It smells like a king cake, so got a lot of like cinnamon sugar vibes here. Nice kind of doughy smell. I like this. I like this. I don't think it's club worthy to me, but I might be tempted to order another one of those like Mardi Gras collections. I feel like all of the scents but one I actually really like. So anyway, you guys, that's everything. It's a lot. Well, I wish it was more, but we have all of this year to get through more of these candles. I'm really excited because I was able to move all of my HomeWorx candles out of here, by the way. So these are all empty now. Let me know what you think I should store in these containers here. That one has receipts, receipts for business stuff. But the rest of these are all empty. What should I put in here? And don't say candles, because we're not filling these up with candles again. We're finally getting control of that, but yeah, I need to figure out something to store in there. Linens, maybe, I don't know. More pugs. Do we need more pugs, buddy? Oh, that would be a good hobby, huh? We just expand our pug hobby. Just kidding, Craig said no. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what you finished up this past month. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Give this video a big fat thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.